Good morning on this November 1st. Who woke up to a coating of snow on the ground? Me. Now it's pretty much melted. I'm here at Butler County Community College and I'm going to be hiking the Allen Imhoff Fitness Trail. In addition to the 1-mile paved trail that is on campus, there are hiking trails back in the woods. You do need a parking permit to park on campus. It's $10 and you can purchase a parking permit at the campus police Monday through Fridays from 8 to 4. And not much is known about this trail. I googled it and I couldn't find too much information. But I will tell you, quote, "This fitness trail is given to the people of Butler County and the Butler County Community College by Allen's friends in memory of a man who loved life and created gardens wherever he went." Quote. It was chilly for trick-or-treaters last night, but at least the weather was dry for them. It's as if at the stroke of midnight, November 1st, winter came. Technically, it's still fall. We have another month and a half of fall left. I woke up at 6 this morning. It was like a winter wonderland. There was snow on my deck, snow on my street. There were accidents everywhere. And there was a special weather statement until 8 a.m. because of a heavy snow band that was moving through. I remember whenever I was working at Sears, November 1st is when they would start playing the Christmas music. The first couple weeks, there was a Christmas song, like every other song, and then right before Thanksgiving, it would be solid Christmas music. And I would have been out earlier this morning, but today was my day to sleep in. I'm off work today, and I take advantage of sleeping in whenever I'm off. This trail is on BC3's property, and BC3 owns about 300 acres. And this trail is about a 1-mile loop with connector trails in between. Today I'm going to do the entire loop. Yep, snow and fall foliage together at last. The foliage is past peak and starting to fade and fall quickly. Some trees are still hanging on to their leaves. Usually oak and walnut trees are the last to lose their leaves. And these trails are blazed. They're blazed in yellow and the blaze is quite faded. It's not unusual for us to have snow this early in the season. November 2nd, 2020, we had a few inches of snow. October 31st, 1993, it snowed on Halloween night. We got about 6 inches, and the next day, November 1st, we had a 1-hour delay. It happens. The trail can be quite noisy because Route 8 is right over the hill, so you hear the hum of traffic. Got my winter coat, gloves, hat, and snow boots on today. And this snow will probably stick around for a day or so. The snow isn't going to stick around too long because come this weekend, temperatures are going to be back into the 50s. I am an alumni of BC3, and then I got my associate's degree and transferred to Slippery Rock University to complete my bachelor's degree. That is a very popular option because it's affordable. You can save money by taking your first 2 years here at BC3 and then transferring to Slippery Rock and commuting. So you save a boatload of money. And when you commute, you save on room and board. I started out as elementary education. Then when I transferred to Slippery Rock, I messed up in the class and that brought my GPA down. And I was put on academic probation. I got A's and B's and everything else except for this one math class. So I just switched my major to communications. I just wanted to get my bachelor's degree and get out of school. The BC3 is a great place to start. And they also offer certificate programs like in medical coding, for example. And there's a blow down, so we're just going to go ahead and go around this blow down. And the popular programs are nursing and physical therapy assistant. And they are vocational majors because they train you for a specific job. An A vocational major would be like English Lit, history, because they don't really train you for a specific job like nursing. Whenever I was an undergrad, I did read that if you're going to med school or law school, you don't have to be a biology major, for example, for med school. All you have to do is meet the prereqs. But they actually prefer that you major in other fields. Like if you're going to med school, they actually prefer that you major like in English Lit, history, as long as you meet all the science classes. That's all they care about is the prerequisites. I'm coming up on this right of way used by the electric company. I always feel nervous. Maybe that's because there's tens of thousands of volts of electricity above my head. I just get like a weird feeling. Here's where the trail splits. You can go left or right. I'm going to go left. If you want to have a shorter hike, go right. So I'm going to go left. Up ahead is Cleveland Cliffs, previously AK Steel, and before that Armco. A lot of people still refer to it as Armco. Here are some tips to be a successful college student. Arrive to class early. Whenever I was an undergrad, let's say I scheduled a 9 o'clock class. Well, I would arrive at campus at 8. And I'll tell you the reason why. Chances are you're not going to get a spot near the building you have class in, unless you're blessed with incredible luck. So you're going to have to park a distance away from your classroom building and wear comfortable shoes and dress warm, because the weather isn't always going to be sunny and 70. But I would arrive early and I would go into the library and look over my notes for my next class. And that way, when I got to class, I wasn't huffing and puffing. I remember seeing a lot of students circling the parking lot 3 or 4 times looking for someone to pull out so they can snatch that spot. And then they would have to park far away, and then they'd be running to class. I'd arrive 5 minutes late, and they'd be huffing and puffing. Hey, I've done it too. I'm guilty of it. But by arriving early, you can look over your notes, prepare for the next class, and be ready to go. Please remember, every professor is different. No 2 professors are the same. But I will tell you one thing they are the same in. They always seem to schedule their tests or assignments due on the same day. They must get together and collaborate. It seemed like everything was due around the same time. Third, go to class. And there are going to be times where you just want to sleep in. It's cloudy, dreary, cold, and you just want to hit that snooze button and go back to sleep. Try not to do that. Because when you miss a class, you miss a lot of information. Because at college, you may only have class 3 times a week or less. So if you only have a class 1 day a week for 3 hours, that's a lot of information you are missing. And plus, you may want to use your professor as a job reference. And if you come to class every day prepared, they're going to give you a good reference. And get to know your professors. If you do have to miss a class, don't say, "Did I miss anything?" Well, duh, you missed a lot. Instead, ask, "What did I miss?" Because there are going to be times you have to miss class. It happens. We all get sick. Life happens. Looks like the trail at one time veered off, but now it goes up the hill, and we are going to have to navigate around this blow down. And speaking of missing class, if the weather's inclement, if the roads are a sheet of ice and there is a foot of snow on the roads, don't go to class. If you commute to a residential college, if you're a commuter student, tell them that I commute, and if the weather's bad, I won't be able to make it. Let them know ahead of time, and they will be understanding. That's what I told my professors at Slippery Rock, and they were very understanding if I had a miss. And also, if you miss class in college, the professor's not going to nag you. They're not going to give you detention or in-school suspension if you miss. You're just going to miss the assignments. They're not going to nag you. They're not going to spoon feed you like in high school. And no, you don't need an excuse note like in high school. Another tip I have to share is try not to go to class in your pajamas. We've all done it. I've done it. I'm sure most of you have done it. But try dress casual and instead of coming to class in your pajamas. Because you want to kind of be professional in case you have to use that professor as a job reference. So you want to maintain some professionalism too. And also, if you're not happy with the grade, ask your professor. I said, they have office hours. Get to know them. And ask, what can I do to improve my grade in this class? They might give you some pointers. And always come to class prepared. If you do commute to a residential college like Slippery Rock, for example, make sure you have a toiletry bag in your car, and an extra change of clothes. And that's because it's good to have that stuff in your car in case you do have to spend the night on campus. It's good to get to know someone who lives on campus. I'm sure they won't mind you spending the night. That's in case the weather gets bad or if there's an event on campus. Because throughout the day, we've gotten snow. Whenever I was in college, they seldom canceled for snow, but today they seem to cancel as much as the school districts. And also, if your professor has an email or a website, check it to see if they canceled class. Sign up for the emails and alerts. Because you don't want to drive to campus and find a note on the door. Here's a blowdown. Gonna navigate under it. College will teach you time management skills. And most importantly, try to get involved with something. There's clubs and activities for every interest. When I was here at BC3, I was involved with the Student Senate, and I was also an orientation group leader. Whenever I was here at BC3, we actually changed the name from the Student Senate to the Executive Council of Students. Oops. But it's a great way to meet people, meet administrators, meet your professors, and just get involved with campus. And those are great skills to put on a job resume. And you don't have to be involved with every activity under the sun. Just one or two is enough. Because when you're involved with every activity there is, you can't really dedicate your time to any of them. But if you're involved with one or two, you can dedicate a lot more time. And also learn how to say no. If a situation makes you feel uncomfortable, say no. And be firm about it. We're going to be heading down over the hill next. Once again, we enter this right away. If you want to cut your hike short, you go right If you want to make your hike longer, we're going to go left. In college, you may be exposed to alcohol. Now, I don't know what the social life is like in college. I've been out of school for over 20 years, so it might have changed. But just want to tell you, there may be some pressure to drink, especially at parties. But try to join activities that don't promote drinking. There's a lot of alternative choices to drinking. And I don't drink. And a lot of people did not want to hang out with me because I did not drink. I maybe have an alcoholic drink twice every 10 years. I just don't care for it. And I like to remember having a good time, because when you drink, you don't have any memory of anything, and plus people can take advantage of you. And you're not coherent. And I never understood the appeal of beer pong. I know I sound like a real party pooper, but that's okay. I eventually found people who accept me for who I am. So you don't have to drink and get drunk to fit in, because are they really your friends, or are they just drinking buddies? Can you sit down and have a conversation with them? Or does it just revolve about bragging how drunk you got? Okay, we're going to be mud bogging. Trail here gets muddy. And yes, you can have fun without alcohol. There's plenty of things to do. Just ask me. Social events could be hiking, bike riding, kayaking. And if you don't like those things, you can go bowling, roller skating, ice skating. You can see a movie, a play. There's a lot you can do. You just have to look around and open your mind. Be open-minded. Think outside the box. And I never cared for the bar scene either. Drinks are expensive. Plus you have to tip your bartender, which you should do. And it's so loud. It's hard to have a conversation without shouting. To me, that's not fun. I like to actually hear the people I'm with and be able to talk to them. But if that's your cup of tea, go for it. Okay. Just a few minutes ago, we were on the top. Now we're down here in the valley. Here we cross a little brook. I'm going to give you a quick history lesson. This was obviously a farm road. And I will tell you how I know this. After right up ahead is an old foundation. It looks like something was in this spot too. So I'm going to assume this was a foundation to a structure like a farmhouse or a barn or an outbuilding. I'm always fascinated by these foundations because they were once somebody's home. They had memories there. They had happy and sad memories. Memories of holidays, gatherings. Babies could have been born in this house. People probably passed away in this house. If only these stones could talk. You heard the laughter of children. And usually a lot of these farmhouses were built near a water source so they could get water. They would build a spring house. Because 100 some years ago, people didn't have indoor plumbing, so they had to fetch water to bring up to the house. And people didn't take 30-minute showers because you didn't have a shower. You bathed once a week, and that was on Saturday nights, so you can be clean for church the next morning. And usually the dirtiest child would be the last to go into the tub. So I'm assuming there was a farm in this location up until the early 60s. And the early 60s is whenever BC3 started to acquire land. The college opened in 1966. And also part of the college was once a golf course. The old maintenance building was actually one of the buildings for the golf course. They demolished that over a year ago and they built a new nursing and allied health building. And this is where we have a pretty good elevation change. Yeah, you can tell this was definitely a road at one time. Probably a service road for the farm. And there are a lot of deer on these trails. I haven't seen any yet today, but I have in the past. It seems like once the sun sets, the deer take over the campus. This elevation change is just enough to get your heart pumping. On Saturday, October 28th, I hiked the Kennardell tract of the Clear Creek State Forest. We did the loop, and the last elevation change was really a workout. The trail is most difficult. We hiked down the steep hill that was rocky and muddy. I practically had to go down my butt. We enjoyed the foliage and views of Denison Run. Then after a while we hiked back up the hill. And that was a good workout. And there is no video because I was with a group. We had lots of fun. And Sunday, October 5th, it will be getting dark a little after 5 p.m. It's "Hello Darkness, my old friend." Probably seen those memes on Facebook. You know, there's something we can do. I know a lot of people dread when it gets dark early, but you know something? It's only temporary. So I don't even worry about it. Okay, here we come to one of the connector trails. So if you don't feel like doing the entire loop, you can take this trail. But if you're like me and you want to experience the entire loop, you'll go this trail to the left. And we will be doing some mud bogging coming up. That's why it's important to wear sturdy shoes that are waterproof. Yeah, it's a little bit muddy. But when you hike, it's not a fashion show. You want to be dressed for the conditions. And when you hike, you want to have layers close to your body, but make sure they're not cotton, because cotton holds moisture. So you definitely want to dress in layers when you hike. So we've got 2 seasons in one, winter and fall. It's like buy one, get one free. We got a BOGO in seasons. Still a lot of greenery. That would be nice if the foliage lasted longer till, let's say, Thanksgiving. And you do want to carry water even if you're hiking in the wintertime because you want to stay hydrated. And that water tastes so refreshing after being in my backpack. Especially if it's like 30 degrees. And also this time of year, you want to watch out for leaves on the road. If they're wet, they can be like driving on a sheet of ice. Thanksgiving's only a few weeks away. Seems like Thanksgiving gets ignored. We go from Halloween right to Christmas. And some stores had their Christmas stuff out like middle of September, so technically it was still summer and there was Christmas stuff out. And usually in middle of December, you see Valentine's Day stuff out in the stores. I know in retail they like to start the seasons at least 3 months ahead of time. Okay, here we come to the second set of transformers, the second right away. Get some of the foliage, what's left of it. And about fitting in, let me just give you a word of advice. Be yourself. Because if you change for others, you're going to be miserable. Remember whenever I was 18, my boyfriend at the time was into all the pop culture and latest music, movies, TV shows. Well, I tried to get into that. And it just felt foreign to me. He did break up with me because I was boring. And I can tell you at the time I was devastated. I thought there was something wrong with me. But then, almost 30 years later, there was nothing wrong with me or him. We just had different interests. I don't expect anybody to change for me, and I'm not going to change for anybody. I accept people for who they are. Here we go back into the woods. This obviously looks like a farm service road. I'm going to assume this was a farm at one time. These trees are definitely new growth. Here we have a little elevation change, just enough to get your heart pumping. Yeah, a fun project I did remember my kids were little was leaf rubbings. They're so simple. You don't have to have all these materials. You just grab crayon, paper, and some leaves, and those are materials everybody has. Notice a lot of these projects you see, you need like 50 zillion materials, which are hard to find. I like to keep things simple. Even though it's cold and there's some snow on the ground, you still want to watch for ticks. Remember that connector trail I was telling you about earlier? Here's what it comes out. We're gonna go straight because we're gonna finish the last leg of the hike. And we're coming up on a gravel service road. The college stores gravel and mulch back here, and they use the service road. It smells of fall. seeing fall foliage and smelling the smells of fall just makes me want to chug apple cider, which I have to get more tomorrow. We cross under the transformers one last time before heading back into the woods. Down over the hill is the old plank road. If you don't like hiking under the power lines, I promise this is the last time we hike under them. The leaves are all off the trees in north central PA. But like in the southern regions of Pennsylvania, there's still a lot of beautiful foliage to be seen. So that southeast corner of Pennsylvania still has a lot of nice foliage to look at. But the northern tier of the state, the trees are pretty much bare. Got some puddles. I let my kids splash in puddles. They had so much fun. Simple things are so much fun for little kids. I allowed them to get dirty as long as I could bathe them afterwards. Okay, the trail comes out by the baseball field. This makes for a great hike. I'm going to say it's about a 1 mile loop. And like I said earlier in the video, there isn't too much information on this trail. And just up yonder is the field house, aka gym. And the field house is where they have the basketball games, volleyball games, and upstairs they have an auxiliary gym where you can play ping pong. And on the other side of the field house, they have workout equipment. I don't know where the Pioneers play now. I think it's in town. I don't know if it's Pullman Park. I've been out of this loop so long. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And at the end, I'm going to be putting a picture montage of my hike of the Kennerdale Tract of the Clear Creek State Forest. So I hope you enjoy that. Thank you for watching.